So, good evening, everybody. How are you all today? Everybody is good, interested in learning. They are all happy to be here. Anybody saying anything to me? Is Preeti here? Preeti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Do all people are old? All anybody new?
New we have three.
They've
Dr.
joined.
Rama
Dinavahi, she knows some. Okay, who else?
and Dr. Smita.
Smita. Okay.
And we are going to have one second, Dr. Sukhmeet and Dr. Madan.
Okay.
So four of them.
Okay. So today we are doing another family altogether. So we'll just do a little bit, but we haven't joined yet, right?
No, they haven't joined yet.
Okay.
I'll just remind one second.
Smita, you know about the inner ages, and do you know about little bit about kingdoms? Rama, of course, knows. Anybody else? Smita, can you unmute yourself and tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, Smita, you know inner ages, right? Okay. Actually, today is a little longer session. Let us see. So I'd like to start already. I think what we'll do with the new people, we'll decide later. Today, you'll just follow whatever we are doing. We've been doing the fifth subclass, and why we chose the fifth subclass is because it is today's need and today's world requires that. Fifth subclass is where the feminine becomes subdued and the masculine goes up and becomes stronger. So what does it mean? Do the females disappear? No, it doesn't mean the females disappear, but the females themselves become more masculine. And today we are seeing it that everybody is becoming masculine. They want to work, they want to do career, they want to do the house, and they're becoming in their own feelings and the way they behave also becoming more masculine. So it means just the female qualities are becoming subdued, not the female as a species, as a class. Okay. So it just that, so that is why we chose this fifth subclass from, and then we are discussing all the whole column, which goes right from the inner ages, from the womb stage, the oral stage, the anal stage, and will go downward. So we've done the womb and the anal stage. Womb and the oral stage so far. And this is our 15th CME. And it's been a very exciting journey, I think so. And even I myself have started using so many of the remedies with very good results. So that is our focus today. So we have done Rosales. The Rosidea is the subclass 5, which is called Rosidea. In that you have families Rosales, which is in row 1, which is the womb stage. Then you have the midtails, which is again in row 1 below rosales in the womb stage. Then you have the fabales, which then moves to the oral stage. And today we are going to start the malpighiales, which is row 3 and 4, which is the anal and the early child. Okay, so this is our plan today. So I don't know if you want to revise, but the whole thing is about the split between masculine and feminine. And it is about now recognizing till the 4th column, it was mother dominated, all due to nutrition, mother looking after the child, all that. So the whole thing was about the family. And now it is going out into the world and dealing with other people. So it is recognizing the other. So it is called me and the other. Okay. And so now they have to go follow the father, the rules come in, the discipline comes in, the career comes in, the work resources, and all that comes in. They have goals. And so then they have a problem. Father figure is much stricter. So whatever problem they encounter because of that, emotions get suppressed, even the sexual energy gets suppressed. And because of that, what else follows plans and regulations is religion. So they also a lot of religious fanaticism and OCDs come up. And so it is in this column that you have the ego coming up. And they are still beginning. So they are not really ready for a relationship with the other, but they are just trying to contact and finding difficulties. So their first 2 baby stages may be disappointment when they start contacting the others. Okay. So this is the womb stage where it's completely dependent. And what happened? Why did my brother go? And so family keeps bad news because she is very sensitive. Anything to do with the family upsets her. That is also called the oral stage, which is to do with nutrition. And therefore they can get diarrhea and such problems. And they want immediate attention because they are only totally dependent. So cry if you give it food. Okay. So there's no ego. It is governed by instincts. Child is demanding and wants gratification. Okay. If the toy goes away, something falls, doesn't get food, it'll shriek till it gets it. Then you have the infant, which is 0 to 1. It's the extension of the womb stage. Infant is completely dependent, even now, because he cannot move. And especially the mother is dependent on for his nourishment and living. So it is a stage of unconditional love. He wants to feel secure. So if you don't give it security, then the problems arise. Very sensitive again to danger to their family. Okay, so those were the 2 stages that I just told you in brief. Today we are going to do row 3, which is the anal. And the family is, the group we are talking about is malpighiales. It is a very new thing and it is kind of the coca family. So you can understand it's going to be very different from whatever we've done so far. And the remedies we're going to do here today are the germanium. We will do Banici. We are going to spend a lot of time on this. We are going to do Damania. We may do some of Viola, and we may do the Carica papaya. So some of these families we are going to, some of these remedies we are going to do today. These all belong to the malpighiales, and this is a completely different kind of a group. Coca means you can imagine it's all to do with some higher and yeah, those kind of. This is more formatted. So earlier this malpighiales was put in column 4, which was the nutrition line actually. And it didn't belong there because according to the Cronquist taxonomy, which, Yakir, whom we are following, she had put it according to that in the 4th. But if you see the characters, they don't fall into the 4th. 4th has to do, I just told you, with the mother and the nutrition and, looking after and the family. But here it's all very different. So in this particular group, the malpighiales, they follow the APG, that's the angiosperm phylogeny group. So they have now put it in the 5th column. And all the families also have come into the 5th column. So several families like Violacea, all these, they belong to violins. And they were earlier in the 4th, but now they've all come into the 5th column. It's just information, nothing for you to do. So we see, according to their homeopathic properties, they were mismatched in column 4, and therefore they've been come into the 5th column. Different families are there and different remedies, but all of them, flowers are very beautiful, very attractive, and all of them are 5 petals. So let us do the traits of the column 5, because the malpighiales will be column 5 and row 3 and row 4. So that's why in brief I did with you row 1 and 2 qualities, which is the oral and the infancy. And then I'm just repeating column 5, which is the vertical. The column 5 is the subclass 5, which is the Rosidea, which we are studying these days. So what are the traits of column 5? This will be revision for all of us, and for the new people, they will just understand it. Masculine quality separation and the split between the male, female, and the feminine and the masculine. So the split which is happening is all to do in column 5. So then you have problems of relationship, companionship, partnership in business, so all to do with the other. The father rules, he makes the rules, boundaries, dogmatic, religion, fanatism, rigidity, suppression, criticism, hierarchy. So now all this time when there's family, all these things didn't come into the picture. Till column 4, all these things didn't come into the picture. Here everything changes. It's beginning to change. So they have difficulty with change, with accepting the new. And the father's ruling there, till then the mother was ruling with emotion, love. Now the father said, you have to follow this, you have to come at this time, you have to go at this time, to get up at this time, you have to eat at this time. So all boundaries are made. And very rigid. So a lot of separation of your own. You can't cry and say, no, I want food now. No, this is work time, you can't get food now. And then a lot of criticism they have to deal with, and they have to do with who is the boss, who is the second boss, who's the third boss. The father, the first boss, then the mother, then maybe the elder brother, then you have to listen to them. So now you start following the rules, and even you yourself begin to develop an ego, because you also want to be like the father. You want to also work and have ambition and purpose. And so it is all to do with walking. So a lot of limbs and joints are. So just for your understanding, this is the chart. This is the, we are dealing with this I and the other, the Rosidea group. And so in the womb stage, you had the rosettes and the metals, I told you. And then in the oral stage, which I explained very short, you had the legumes, they were called earlier, fadales. And now we are going to do with anal stage, which has the malpighiales, and it also, malpighiales are found in early childhood. So you have anal and early childhood, which are rows 3 and 4. Okay, clear? So row 3, it is the anal stage. What is the anal stage? The child learns to control his stool. If he, so far, whenever he wanted to go, he'd go. But now he has to learn to control it, holding on. And he's made to sit on the pot. And he has to do at that time. So he has to learn to hold on. And so now he had difficulties with attaining autonomy. And when he gets that whole thing, I can control, he feels like, oh, I am becoming capable. I am becoming somebody. I can achieve control. So I've got willpower. I can hold on. If he can't do, he gets a sense of failure, self-doubt, and self-reproach. He's like, oh, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah. So it is all the row, that was row 3. Row 4 is early childhood. So here now is lot of, now you're beginning to walk, you can go everywhere. You can see, you want to play with things, with many things, and everything you want to look at, break it maybe, see what is inside. So a lot of curiosity. So now they are beginning to go on their own and take initiative. And they can take initiative. If it doesn't work, then they become indifferent, say, I don't want to do something. Or they feel stuck, okay? So this is the time when you go out into the open place, the world. So if you can't do it, you may become stuck and even get paralyzed. We are talking about in just metaphorically. Inability to initiate goals and tasks will give us problems on the level of functionality. And we are now investigating the world. So we are going to face a lot of trouble with getting to know people, getting to deal with people. And now our world will suddenly become very big. So now the question all that comes up is going through the world. Yes, the difficulty is in setting boundaries. Oh, I can go anywhere. No, you can't go anywhere. You can only go till the gate and then you have to come back home. Why? I want to go out. So you're crossing boundaries. You start having arguments. And also because of the curiosity, even the sexual, now you see, oh, my father had different organs as a girl. It's different. And so you have curiosity, what is it? What is it? And because of that curiosity in this particular row and stage, you can have a lot of sexual abuse because people will take advantage of that curiosity. So in this stage, especially, you may have some remedies dealing with sexual. So that was about column 5, row 3, row 4. This is what we're going to discuss, okay? That much. So, the spelling is wrong here. Malfingale scheme. Malfingale. Spelling it. I'll show you the spelling here. Here. Malfingale. So, the themes. We'll do the themes of this whole group. There is emotional and physical rigidity and rigid. We just don't say, oh, I love you and I accept, We find it difficult and then we have to accept. So we accept the other, but with reservation. So rigid mind, obsessive compulsive behavior. This is where all OCDs come up. In these stages, the drive for the ego's evolution is the struggle against the other, because whose ego is bigger? Who's going to win? The other or you? So here you have said, okay, Fred, you have to learn to relax. You can't be like this, so rigid all the time. Stages 3, 4 are related to doubt about accepting the other. Here, aggression will come in because you want to win, the other person is aggressive. And a struggle against penetration of the other. So penetration is not only to do with sex, but also part of that. But they can penetrate. They can't take control of you. So here is very surprisingly and funnily, you even have lice and other things coming in this stage in your hair, because they also overruling you and coming into you, right, on your hair. So because of all these things, it leads to contraction and withdrawal. If you can't fight and you can't win, then you withdraw. You say, I don't want to fight it. I don't believe in fighting. So in extreme cases, it can lead to autocratic behavior when you have to deal with the other. So since the masculine impulse is adding in the 5th subclass, so there is rigid, there is hierarchy, we said, and very judgmental. So leads to generalized hardening and contraction, and a need to establish a boundary and distance from the other. You can't become so close and become one, like you did in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th subclass, because everybody was one. And here you have to separate. So this is I and the other. So the whole is called only I and the other, which means there are two separate beings. I am me. I suddenly realize I am me. I am different from the other. So then if we want to, we have to keep a boundary, because otherwise they may eat us. So there was this very delicate developing which was there, a delicate ego. And now with this fighting and this who is bigger, who is smaller, it turns rigid. Okay. The corresponding the symptoms which arise from that, difficulties with emotional expression, because to overcome and talk to the other, you have to learn to talk. You may have difficulties in communicating. Okay. Some people become more communicative and their mouth gets problems. Some people are less communicative and their heart gets problems if they suppress everything. So you may get difficulty with emotional expression, rigid religiosity, autocratic behavior means not sensible behavior, obsessive compulsive, tend towards OCD and repetitive thoughts. At the physical level, problems because of the rigidity of muscular movements which are not going, tissues harden, even a sensation. You have a lot of remedies here where you feel one part of the body is missing. Sensation of organ falling off or atrophy. And these are there, these symptoms, in even the very, very small remedies of Malpighia's. This is the right spelling, Malpighia's. So father of the olden days, today's fathers are much more flexible, but the fathers of the old days, even before maybe my time or my mother's time, fathers were they were the dominating, they were the breadwinner. You had to listen to them. They came, all the children had to keep quiet, no noise. And whatever one father wanted would be happen first. So very rigid. So very rigid acceptance of the other. That is what the father teaches. So the toddler stage, OCD comes up very, very strongly. Excessive holding on. This delicate ego becomes rigid. And the gentle, untried mind can now become obsessive compulsive. I have to do it this way only. And sometimes tend towards repetitive thoughts. And then you have muscular movements, hardening of tissue, all that. Limbs, joints. So what are the themes? The themes are, one is ambition, you want to achieve. You have, because you want to achieve, you have to learn to talk and express yourself. And so there is stress both at work and at school level, wherever. So if you can't do it, then you feel you yourself are not so capable. So there's self-criticism and self-suppression. So here the column need to work and act. It's an expression of the mature ego, right? The ego is maturing. I need to go out. I need to do something else. So I need to work and act. I can't be dependent as I was in womb stage, in the oral stage. Now I'm outside that. I'm in the anal stage. So I'm in the early childhood. I have to act outside the family enclosure. And this leads to enormous degree of tension. Lot of stress, as he may not be able to handle that responsibility and can't handle the stress at wherever he is, at school or at work. Your teacher said, do this, and you couldn't finish it. Earlier mother would say, okay, never mind, I do it now. Teacher said, why couldn't you do it? Why were you not able to do it? You have this big responsibility and you can't carry it, right? So there is enormous degree of tension, fear, obsession. Oh, that girl did so much better. And the mother says, see, your brother did so well. Why can't you do so well? So all this competitiveness comes up, and yes. You feel I am the loser. I can't do anything. So you have the competition, the ambition, the perfection, causing so many problems of performing and handling. And this is the anal stage of development. So when the tasks go not finished and the teacher shouts at you, you say, I am a loser. I feel guilty, I feel sad, I feel low. So this eventually leads to pathology, such as joint problems or stiffening of the organs of speech. Because this is where you have to communicate, right? So joint, because you have to move. So we said earlier that it affects the joints and the limb. And then the stiffening of organs of speech and jaw. You get paralysis, inability to speak, which then allows you not even to accomplish very, very simple things. The sense of failure then leads to impotency in men. Okay, so here there'll be a lot of corollaries. You will say, how did a child become a man? We are talking about inner age. So the man may be in the anal stage. Okay, he may be a grown man, but he may be in the anal stage and he has impotency since the failure drains the sexual energy. So you have many remedies from this group, Bani Kapi, Carica papaya, Coca damania. The fear of failure, that is in this stage, along with the burning and increased desire. You want to really work and want to succeed and want to be better than the other. So lack of self-acceptance at times leading to severe self-criticism and suppression. Okay? So fear of failure is the stage, the inner. And the desire to succeed is the column, where in the column, fifth column, we want to go ahead, go and work and career and school and so on. So whenever the home environment also, so far you felt the home environment very good, very protective. When the home environment also presents these increased demands, then the stress becomes really so much that fear and obsession may lead to physical paralysis. So then you have that penetration of boundaries, that is the other theme, sensitivity to disturbances. You say, okay, just leave me alone, and you're sensitive to disturbances. That from that you can have skin problems, psoriasis, and allergy. So row 4 relates to penetration. And there's a problem with accepting those aspects of the world that they are other or outside. Skin allergy also are expressing aggression and intolerance of something which came onto your body, right? Of the other. And so the affinity, as I told you earlier, parasites and worms, they also penetrate and stay there. You don't want them, but they stay there. So penetration of boundary. Any foreign body or external disturbance penetrates and you get an exaggerated response. So you have allergies, you have Viola and such other remedies. There may be this, then the skin reacts and you get allergies, or the hair scratches and you get lice, or your joints trouble. So when all this happens, there may be a feeling of being misunderstood with this fear of being penetrated. And the fear that you'll be discovered and that you are not good enough. So you want to hide yourself and avoid social contact, and you may become asocial. There is an extreme need to maintain control, which relates to the anal development. Yes, third row. So third row, fourth row, all in column 5. So this whole group, like as I kept telling you, it was coca, so that you knew there was a drug-like quality, narcosis, paralysis, insomnia. That is the other theme. Many remedies of this order have a narcotic quality, a drug-like cheerfulness, which is not actually inner cheerfulness. That may later deteriorate to a drug-like paralysis, which we'll see in Bani C, coca, damania, passiflora, Viola. On the other hand, there is an issue with letting go of the stress of work. and achievement, and entering sleep peacefully. So you have this two things, this narcotic thing, achieving thing, drug-like thing, and you have this letting go quality. So whenever there's rigidity, the way religion have come about with rules, these are the the principles, and you will not covet your neighbor's wife. Those rules were laid down in certain religions, which became like very rigid, and you have to follow them. So column 5 is rigidly religious and hierarchical. Yet in the early stages, there is more elements when you talk about, meditation, then you talk about mysticism, you talk about spirituality. That's very different from these rules which are put. So that is that connection that, you have as if you're spiritual, this, with the nature, and you're looking at directly to God or the spirits through our meditation. Only when you bring it down to this, that it becomes jealous religiosity with your rules. So there are two types, okay? One is union with the God, with meditation. A lot of our philosophy belongs to that kind of belief. So the powerful struggle with the other accentuates this split between dark and light. The light is the God and the meditation and the other world, and the dark is the other. All these things, you will go into hell if you don't follow and you do all wrong, and so on and so forth. So the split is also between darkness and light, between the above and the below, thereby creates a void, allowed darkness to enter. You saw the previous picture, so nice and light and calm. And you see this picture, so dark and scary. So the lesson here has to do with enduring and walking through the suffering and darkness in order to develop spirituality. So you will all think, what has this got to do with homeopathy? Yes, so much of this understanding, because the patients who come to us are of various kinds. And we have people telling us, oh, I saw God, and he told me that I have to become God for a day. So all these things we have to deal with, and we have to get them back to this world through our medicine. So we have to know all these various things, whether any other Pathi knows it or not. Okay. So in terms of cultural evolution, Alfiqirs relate to the time of the emergence of Islam with its rigid yet mystical bent. The Hindu philosophy is much more open, and we have the gods also and the asuras also, and there's to fight, and there's all these things happen. But we had no strict rules. Islam came up that time, Christianity came up, and they had rigid yet mystical bent. So that is the general themes of the Malfiguiers group. We are going to do some of the remedies which are really different from all the remedies we've done so far. And they are going to be much more kind of esoteric. Yeah. So this is called Banisteriopsis capi, or Bani C for short, the Brahmi. The Bani C for short. So to friends, Bani C. Yeah. Capi. Capi can sound like coffee, right? In some languages. So it belongs to the family Malfiguiers. It is a climbing vine of the Amazon. Just look at it. It goes on the trees. And it is called the vine of the soul. It is used in shamanic initiation. You know, these shamanic and other world kind of initiations. So I have put for you this concoction, Aya, now how it is pronounced, Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca. Okay? Ayahuasca. That is how it's pronounced. That is means to lead the spirit on a quest and a journey on the path to self-knowledge which is what we are all supposed to be doing. So this remedy or this plant or this wine, it is psychedelic. It alters the person's emotional sense of time, thinking, and brings in hallucinations. That's why I told you these, remember coca, that is the coca group. So the remedies will all be around all these things, which we do not in the physical world or in today's world always understand. Okay? So ayahuasca, meant to lead the spirit on a quest, the journey and the path to self-knowledge, which is this column's goal, fifth subclass. So we're gonna do a lot of time on this Bani C. It allegedly allowed the soul to split from the body and travel to other worlds through vivid visual hallucination, having a cleansing and purifying effect on the spiritual plane. Isn't it wonderful, the picture? Wonderful. You get out and you travel. We've seen it in the movies, we'll say. We've seen it sometimes in the movies. Sometimes I don't know if we've experienced it. I have not. So it contains, Vani C contains harmaline, a substance similar to serotonin. We know serotonin, okay? Which affect the function of the brain and the pineal gland. And this is the third eye, which by way of neuroendomorphins control our sense of time and solar rhythm. So it is a narcotic action. Physically, narcotic action. So it has to do a lot with the mind. Physically, it has a strong anti-helminthic action because we have this lice and worms and other things affecting us. So it has to get rid of those. Yes. So the provings were done by two people. Vansbro, the provers, they said they were affected for years after taking the Bani C, Bani Kapi. And Kiesdam proving from Netherlands, this was very recent, 1998, and the reference works has the proving in. So it's a very important psychiatric remedy, okay, as we could now see that it deals with hallucinations, other things, going to the other world, imagining things, people coming in, somebody come in and took me away, or somebody is guiding me to make me God. So even the plant is known for shamanic and guiding qualities. And the first reaction in the proving, when they first took it, a lot of laughter and gaiety, happiness. And then the remedy also shows the second state, the darker side. I showed you the picture earlier of the nice light, calming, and the darkness. So the qualities are a combined effect of row 3 and 4 in column 5, right? So 3 again, anal, early child. The encounter with the other, which can also be pleasurable, but here, because you're so fearful and so knowing that that is other, and it may be experienced as abuse or penetration, and that creates a split or internal tear, harming the very core of the person. And so now one feels that even the family, which was always safe and, I felt connected and I was protected. Now, even on the family, I cannot depend. Difficulty in connecting, and then he feels very alone. I feel alone, says the proving, Keystam proving. Feel everyone's couple, they are both 1 and 2, and only I am single. These are the columns, relationship problems. So traumatic past abuse of somebody close. So abuse by somebody close. They say rape and abuse often happens inside the family. So you may have ailments from abuse, from grief, dreams of cruelty. So there are themes of death, of horror, of inner suffering, thus escape from the body and an impaired sense of balance. So anytime we get a patient like this, explore. We have patients like that. Once we had a patient and we had no idea what had happened to her, but she was not communicating, not doing it, and we didn't want to go. We knew there was some abuse because every time she would go for a bath and somebody tried to remove clothes, she would start screaming. So obviously there was a lot of trauma. And then we had to deal with her. But we couldn't ask what had happened. So there is a lot of horror and death and suffering, and self don't know what is my suffering. Some patient may tell you, that time I didn't know what was good touch and bad touch. Now thinking back, I thought how bad it was. The touch was so bad. The tuition teacher used to sometimes just giving me a book, he would touch me. And I even told my mother, and my mother said, no, it's okay, who's going to teach you? And she didn't pay any attention to me. And today that girl is 20 and she's suffering from so many problems which we are trying to deal with. So there is a lot of inner suffering, there escape from the body, that sense, and a sense, impaired sense of balance. You don't feel so good about yourself. Coercion aggravates because even the sexual encounter with the other is painful. Association with the other is traumatic. So the result is a feeling of disconnection, detachment, and estrangement. So split between the above and the below. Totally dark to illuminated. And there's nothing to interconnect. There's a void. A feeling as if they don't have a soul, but a whole. Not a soul, but a whole. Many impressions come in, but nothing to hold them. And there may be so much dread and fear of the unknown, says Hammond. Because you don't know what you're dealing with. So the feeling increases of the disconnection, detachment, okay? You're maybe in this group, but somebody is laughing at you, somebody, even if he's laughing, you think he is trying to be bad to you and penetrate. So in the easy cases that we have, it would be inability to reconcile one's vision with the place where one is in life. Okay, so then we can understand this and we can even get a rubric, vision acute peripheral. But in extreme cases, it may be split personality disorder. So lot of your diagnosis of schizophrenia, bipolar, OCD come into this. In the proving, people dreamt of wise elders because somebody has to advise us. Huh? Who is there? Are elders who are wise. In every, if you talked about the old communities, there are always somebody who are the old people and the wise elders who everybody went to when they had problems. So they became the spiritual guide. Okay. So they dreamt of wise elders, of the need for a spiritual guide, or they even dreamt of wounds and bleeding because they were so hurt. So indeed, the remedy raises awareness of latent trauma, and sexual abuse may be seen. Rosenberg, who had done a lot of work. So result is a feeling of disconnection, as I said, and then different thoughts. This patient said, I'm falling asleep while I'm riding my motorcycle. This is the actual case of Rosenberg. And he's not really falling asleep, he's thinking, I'm falling asleep while I'm riding my motorcycle. So a lot of inner suffering, escape from the body, impaired sense of proportion, bumping into things, difficulty in focusing, and the dream-like state bordering on danger. You can't take care of yourself. You're not in control. You're not connected. You're estranged from everybody. You're alone. Everybody else is coming. So how do you escape reality? Drug and alcohol addiction. Yeah. So this feeling is there, with the head open and the light came in. So I had to cut my head and it came in. With this feeling can come with so many things. And what can it come with? Main thing is something, some narcotic, something which takes you away from whatever you are feeling. So that is why a lot of other drugs, alcohol, addictions, even sometimes you can't bear it, you have suicide. So escapism can also be spiritual sleep. So if you meditate, people say, I'll get it. I have a patient today who tells me that he used to meditate for 10 hours a day. Today also he locks the room and meditates. The mother saying, please get him out of it. We are trying our best. Elation, blissful feeling, meditative practices, seeks a spiritual counselor. Now we don't have wise elders because either they die or we throw them out and put them in the old age homes, right? So we have no wise elders. So improving dreams arose that were very spiritual, philosophical, head open and light came in. So with oversensitivity, sympathy and clairvoyance, that is the light which is coming in. Somebody to look after me, to talk to me, to give me sympathy and to understand. But the other side is what? Suppression and downward pressure. A heavy energy surrounds him. A feeling of heaviness in the body that pushes him downwards. Okay? Like this anchor, we anchor the boats with it. This man is not wanting to be anchored, but he's pulling down. Feels more and more entangled. His thumb is caught. It's entangled. He's trying to fight or flee from it. These are all moving symptoms. Much nausea accompanied the proving. Drinking, how do we pronounce it? Ayahuasca. So drinking ayahuasca usually causes great nausea, as does leaving the body. Yeah? If you leave, sometimes that feeling of leaving the body, so you feel nausea. So this is like a drug remedy. So there is then, when you can't do anything, there is a lot of suppressed aggression and anger. And it's desire to kick. So you may have convulsions with the boy kicking. Toothaches that spread to the entire face and only kicking is with it. Anger is suppressed. Not kick. I wonder who really kicked the face. I don't know. He can't kick it himself. So he has to have somebody else. Maybe they said, hit it, or he hit it himself. So this is a very characteristic symptom. If we get it ever in our lives, toothache, better by hitting or kicking, we can think of Barney C, right? So because of this masculine need to achieve, a sense of failure is there, a lot of frustration. You want to achieve, but every time you cannot achieve, there must be failure. There has to be failure, falling down, getting up, moving on. But if you think every falling down is bad, then your sense of failure increases. That's what's happening in today's time. Why are we having so many suicides? Because it seems that if you fail, it is the end of the world. No, failure is a way, a stepping stone. Now you have to rise up, you have to go ahead. It shows you how to move ahead. But we don't teach our children that anymore like we did in the old days. Okay? So we have to have this balance. Oh, you didn't come first this time. What happened to you? Why did you come second? Oh, second, very good. What's wrong with being second? Right? Even fourth is very good. 10th is very good as long as you pass. So if we push children, suicides will happen. There is great need for self-control and feeling that I must always be in control. And so I kick the dog. You know, Meadowrhinum, they say takes a stick and puts it in the dog's anus. Why? The dog can't do anything, so you can control him. You want to be in control. And that makes you feel big. So this is a remedy of extreme opposites. Emotional fluctuation between heaven, we saw on one side, and hell. So you may have dreams of torture, of crocodile. So a lot of dreams. There was a case now we see of fish, in fear of fish. They dreamed of torture, crocodile, very dark, violent, cruel visions or dreams. Trauma and suffering even from past lifetime, because it is one whole continuum. Our past and our today and our future may be one. So even though the plant is known for its shamanic guiding quality, and the first reaction proving was laughter and gaiety, but as the past life traumatic effects surface, it is important for them to live in two worlds. They've given very good examples that you can sometimes have to live in two worlds. So either it's laughter or it is deep, depressive, severe dissociation, which are characteristic of the column, or anxiety and panic. Therefore, in the fifth column, you feel I have to be always in control. So the mother has to step in and balance out this father rules of all the time being in control. So it is very nice. He said these remedies may be for a CIA agent. You have to live two different lives, right? Sometimes the family doesn't know you're a CIA agent. Or Superman. We used to have a lot of these Superman movies in our childhood. I don't know how much you all watched them. But so they didn't know. They didn't know that he used to go and save people. They thought he was my Clark Kent, his name was. He was ordinary peon clerk in a company. So, but he used to become Superman. Never required. So two separate worlds like a CIA agent or Superman. For such people, it may be the remedy. Hammond adds that the remedy comes up in childhood abuse. That is the trust, the damaging trust in the other's gone. Or when your parent is psychotic. And so conflict and trauma is so painful. Okay? So painful. See the split? The mirror, you don't know which one you are. Such a nice face, and look at this. So the remedy of extreme opposites. So there was a dream. This is so horrifying. Dream of children's clothing folded next to a torture device. So when you go to take that clothing, oh God, you never know when the torture device will be used on you. So it's like child abuse or child torture. Rosenberg said that frequently this is found in the remedy, the feeling or actuality that somebody in the family. So when your family you can't trust, then you are quite up against the world. You are going to find it very difficult to get over that. So somebody in the family is conspiring against them. Somebody is chasing them, trying to kill them. So there is otherness within one's family, which if the family and your own family, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, you cannot trust, then life becomes very difficult. So whenever I read of any news item where the father raped his girl, I'll think what kind of a life that girl will ever be able to lead. If you can't trust somebody just next to you, where will you go? You have to constantly be on the lookout. Who will attack me next? So dreams are horrible. Dreams are of war, genocide, anxiety attacks, and panic. So wherever there is conflict, here the masculine feminine conflict became so big. So there's constant conflict. So there's often conflict or trauma which is too painful to deal with. And this is concealed within the shadow of the soul. So weightlessness. You feel as if you're weight. It's concealed. It is in the soul. It can't get out. So in Bani C, this is the challenge for the fifth column, to encounter the other and through this friction to develop spirituality. So you have to face it, get over it, and move on to the next stage of spirituality. Thus, the relationship to latent trauma and abuse by the other, which you have to overcome. So this is the remedy, helps you overcome. Cannot trust the relationship any other. If you can't trust your father, how can you trust? You certainly can't trust a neighbor. You can't trust your boss. So difficulty is relating and conversing with the emotional conflicts also are too painful, too painful. You have to either blank them out, yeah? You have to blank them out. And they are too painful to be felt. They have to be guarded. And any probing and questioning into the real issue of the shadow can trigger the original trauma and make it come to the surface. That's why with that patient of ours, we didn't bring up that, why did this happen? Because we said, let sleeping dogs lie. She was feeling okay and said, I'm okay. And we had given her painlessness and we had given her opium at that time. Now we're thinking, she's coming back to us now, thinking of which remedy to give her. So physically, you may have eye problems, cataract, the wrong lenses in women, and dermatitis. Skin will always be gangrene, old scars, muscle degeneration, polio, myasthenia gravis, joint dislocation. Movement is affected in column 5. Joint is the thing, but they are moving out in. And considerable fatigue, feels drained and tired. So the remedy, Danny C, don't forget it, is ayahuasca. The remedy is emphasizes situation in which suffering caused by the encounter with the other either splits the soul, creates a feeling of otherness in the soul, or even severe dissociation or escape from reality via disconnection or spirituality. So either you go down or you go up and get liberated from all this and leave the sense of heaviness, void and nausea when something escaping from you feel nausea. So yes, cases of this type, anybody can share if they have had any such case, but it's very difficult to get these cases. An adolescent girl adopted as a child suffers, she was adopted, okay? She suffers from severe anxiety. Even the adoption is at a very young age. Still, we don't know what they went through in the pregnancy, what the mother went through. And so there is a lot of anxiety. Suffers from severe anxiety before tests. She learns and masters the material. She studies hard. But the test comes, she panics and does not pass. She says, as if I did not learn a thing, as if I spent no time to study, I can't remember a single thing. We'll say, give you gel CME, it's called blanket. She says it is a true phobia. Her sleep is disturbed and she wakes up frequently during the night. Everything got worse recently after she was raped. So she had already a problem, then she was raped. And she's adamantly unwilling to talk about this during the interview. They just don't want to talk about it. They want to hide it. They want to blank it out. And it leaves you what? Feeling not worthy, as if I'm nothing. People don't value me. They don't give me space. Imagine being penetrated to that level. You feel you couldn't do anything. You're helpless. You're nobody. You're nothing. She used to play guitar and happy in that, but pain developed in her hand and she could not continue. So even what could have brought her out, the joints were troubled, okay? Her troubled her. She described herself as a perfectionist, says, I have a need to succeed. If I make a mistake, I get irritated with myself only. As if I couldn't even do the simple thing. It may not be so simple for you and me. She may think it's simple, but I have perfection. Perfection, these people are always. She forgives quickly others, not herself, and doesn't take out things on others. Rather, anger accumulates inside because she says, one cannot lose control. I can't handle that. So she has a fear of fish. So in this remedy and in this group, a lot of fear of water animal. She has a fear of fish even in the swimming pool. At the time she disconnects, as if it's not there, as if the fish is not there. And she will disconnect herself. And after that, she will answer like a robot. Her mother says that at home she's close and angry, but when she's out, she's jovial. She has an ardent but shut off inner world. With the remedy, Bani C, major improvement. She passed all her exams. She managed to study for the test by herself. Before that, she at least needed her parents around while studying. She left the test anxiety-free and without that feeling of failure that she always had. Even the periods between the depressions have decreased. Her relationship with her brother has improved and she is capable of accepting rejection in a mature manner. This is our own Yakir's case. Fish phobia are not recorded for Bani C, but one can find fear of water-dwelling animals like crocodiles, salamanders. It is there in reference. So this case exemplifies the need to succeed along with fear of failure, which is related to the fifth concept. And the abuse that is related to the row as an adopted child and feeling of abuse and estrangement began quite early. Feeling of losing control, again characteristic with the row, anal stage. Now I'm giving you some information from proving about Bani C, okay? About materia medica. South America, the Indians have a drug which they believe can free the soul from the prison of this body. Yes, even Hinduism believes that you have to finally go away from the body, right? So this drug enables the soul to wander freely and to return to it. Such an unbound soul frees the owner of trivial reality, lifts him to another reality in which he can communicate with his ancestors, who now become the wise men whom he can ask, advice. And so this drug is called ayahuasca. Aya, H has to be pronounced like a W. So ayahuasca, the wine of the soul. The scientific name is Banisteriopsis capi. It is a climbing vine that grows along the surface of other trees, winding itself, clinging to the trees on its way to the roof of the jungle. So it wants to climb right on top, and it uses other people to climb, other trees to climb. So it can be reflected in the person. A shaman can use the drug to make a diagnosis. So I made a joke here. Take Bani C, become the best physician. Because they say you can use this drug, make a diagnosis to acquire knowledge on medicinal plants, for healing, for good places to fish. You can come to places in the jungle where the fruits are ripe to pick. You can come to know, or how to prevent threatening disaster or predict the future. Everything you can come to know by taking this Bani C. Yeah, so become best physician by taking Bani C. Joke. After taking ayahuasca, the voice of the shaman of the Campa Indians getting thin. So they take it thin, the sound as if from a distance. Lower jaw starts to tremble, which is a sign that the good spirits have arrived and sing and dance for him. The voice of the shaman is only the echo of their singing. While singing, the soul of the shaman can freely go from the body and go to the wise ancestors. Okay, so this is the end of Bani C. This was a very important remedy which we may or may not use, hopefully. I have this theory that every time you think of something and you study something, a patient like that appears. It is called the theory of coincidence, and book has been written on it. It's not my own theory. Yes, it is my theory, but after that I found a book which said theory of coincidence. People say, kawa, aya, and then somebody, guest will come. So if you think of somebody, then somebody guest will come. Or sometimes Dr. Vibha will tell you, she thinks of some patient who's not come for a long time, and suddenly in the next week, that patient will appear. So this that happens. So yeah. So that is the Bani C. We can all take a dose and see if we get better physician. We can become better physician. Okay. So this is another case of another remedy. Okay. So this is Miss MS 46, had cancer of the heart palate. Chemo was done, radiation was done, which aggravated. Severe weakness came about. The oncologist stopped because of the low platelet and the WBC. No, ma'am, no amelioration from all that. So then, yeah. He is a CA, he works and he continues to read. Lot of stress and he's addicted to pan and alcohol. We've seen addictions are there in this whole group. Ambition 3 marks to earn money. He works 15, 16 hours a day, especially last 5 months he's been working very hard. He said, because of God I have done well. He does daily puja for 1 hour. And then only he goes to office. Saturday he fasts whole day, except 2 cups of tea in the morning. 16 years he's been doing this. He never misses the fast till 8 o'clock in the night. And then he just has idli or something. He's sad about his cancer and broods and weeps about his past mistake. He's lot of urge for pan and alcohol, but he controls it. A doctor said, no pan. So what does he do? He keeps it in the mouth for half an hour, which gives him kicks. That is where he got cancer. Cancer penetrated his life, he said. Penetrated. I want to recover and start new life. Immunity will increase, platelet will increase. So cancer penetrated his life. WBC was 3,000, platelet 50,000. Ailments from chemo and radiation. All that radium bromide, yes, what we give. But this is not an acute state, so give the chronic remedy. So poor appetite, constipation, indigested food, weakness, thirst. What did we see with Bani C? Joints, mouth, skin, like that. Here it was more of the stomach. Ambithermal, desires food, juices, no appetite. Past history, family history, nothing. So analysis was lot of sensitivity, lot of work and ambition, spirituality, meditation, puja for 1 hour. Right and wrong things, right, wrong there. Plus ambition, plus spirituality, plus meticulousness. So this is the Rosidea Sakti. He was rigid. He had reading habit, update, I want. The CA, urge alcohol but controls. So this is toddler control, right? And penetrates into books, so early childhood. Cancer penetrates also, so early childhood. So you had what? 5th subclass, row 3 and 4. So it was malphizious, yes. But we have so many remedies. So which one? So affinity to digestive system, platelet penetration, reading, low platelet digestion. So he was given Carica papaya folia, which is the papaya leaves. 200, 4 doses, okay? Leaves of the papaya, not the fruit. By 2711, WBC 6,000, platelets were active, working, living well. And then platelet became 1.5. At 2022, he is alive. So, Carica papaya. Can you see it here? So the Caricaceae family, the Carica papaya folia, low platelet. So it is used for low platelets. At least this remedy will be useful to us for many cases. Bani C, we do not know. We just hope all of you get such a case and you can use Bani C. But at least Carica papaya folia you can try. It's prepared from the leaves. It has platelet problems, purpura, IT. Thrombocytopenia to dengue fever and during cancer treatment. So papaya, this is another remedy. vulgaris. Papaya latex, white sticky juice of the papaya. Clinically, you have colds, constipation, cough. Dyspepsia, eczema, epithelioma, headache, itching, nausea, neuralgia, numbness, pimples, toothache. Remember, toothache better with a kick is Bani sweet. Here, toothache not better with a kick is papaya vulgaris. Low platelet was the earlier remedy, Carica papaya folia. This is Carica papaya. Homeopathic uses, muscular debility, languor. Oh, I'm so tired. Impatient, unusually active, can study longer with very weariness. Likes to read but unable to think quickly enough. Stupid, confused feeling. Would hardly trust herself to anything during menses for fear of making mistakes. Forgetful, listless, lacking, now doesn't want to do anything. See the child, in the car, his favorite thing is lying down. Wants to be alone, not want to be talked to, doesn't want to answer. The Carica papaya, sorry for confusing you all with two names, it's Carica papaya. At first, they're ambitious people who read and achieve by hard work. Later, they can't think, become stupid, confused, want to be alone. Good remedy for people who read all the time, study ambitious, but then become slow and Alzheimer. Yeah. Headache in the evening from popcorn, from candy, from warm air, better by cold air, better by rubbing, better by sleep. Pain is in the eyeballs, conjunctivitis, an injection of the mucous membrane of eye caused by infection of the mucous membrane of eye caused by allergic response. Bladder, terrible urge, irresistible desire. The limbs, pricky and sleepiness, and peripheral neuropathy without having diabetes. Limbs go to sleep easily. Some people come to you and tell you, I have very easy, they go to sleep. I sit for some time and then suddenly the limbs have gone to sleep. Skin itching all over in the evening, redness and itching better by scratching, urticaria, tinea, psoriasis, pimples on the face, red, sore, and elevated. Skin is a boundary which is penetrated. So, Carica papaya important for skin. Carica papaya folia for digestion. Bani C for toothache and emotional stuff. So, we are still doing Carica papaya. Huh? Indigestion, hepatitis B, enlarged liver and jaundice accompanying the hepatitis B virus, especially with exhaustion with loss of appetite. There's enlarged liver and spleen, especially after a lot of drinking. Intolerance of milk, even small quantity. Vomit after milk. Hard, dry, white stool in jaundice. It wants to go ahead. Huh? Why we're running out of time? Acute or chronic hepatitis. Male, you have a lot of weakness after masturbation. When you have prostate problems, incontinence, hello, it's running in the elderly. Stiffening and lack of flexibility, right? Rigidity. And therefore, you have even the incontinence. Premature ejaculation, premature senility, coition, aversion. This is the male. In the female, she has delayed period, late period, diminished sexual desire. The female especially. Oh, yesterday we had an old lady, she was 75. But, our team, we were arguing with which remedy to give her. She was nice and jovial. I mean, yeah, she was smiling and gave us the history. But her niece who had referred her said she keeps a lot of things to herself and all. She's had a hard life, but husband is dominating, mother was dominating. She had a stepmother because her mother died early. And then she had joint problems and back problems. And she's saying, no, manage karne ka. and with her husband. I said, but he suppressed you. No, I would get my way done somehow. So I felt she was quite okay. And she, even the family she keeps together. She has a son, son's wife, both are doctors. Then her daughter, a son. Then her daughter lost her husband. So then they took her in. So, and she has a daughter. So she's working. And then I said, who cooks? So she's 75, but she said, I cook. But now I can't make atta and something. So when we are talking about her, and really they said, no, but she's, she's not so suppressed as CPR is what we were arguing about. Oh, where is the thing? Where is the anger? She said, I only keep the whole family together. So I was trying to convince them about CPR. So we asked section. Oh, I had a hysterectomy long time, nothing. She was so happy. I'm saying nothing. So I said, even before also, okay. She has had children, but she said it's okay. So
She's still having sex.
frigidity in women, barrenness, euphoria. It's just a story I'm telling you. Sometimes you have to fight. You have fixed images, sometimes CPR, always irritable, always hitting the children. But she had only 2 children. She did her work and she's okay. But she hides. She keeps duty. CPR, very duty conscious. So I know it's not a lecture on CPR, but I'm just giving an example. And so here also in Carica papaya, you have diminished sexual desire, rigid mind and body, perfectly. She had no failure sensor. That girl was CPR, she not Carica papaya. But penetration is the theme. Yeah. Hi, my daughter's saying hi to you all. She's saying how much you're talking.
No. I want to know whether you all slept through the lecture or you've kept it on mute and you're on WhatsApp.
No.
It happens in online classes.
No. Yeah. So yes. So that is.
We're all listening to her very keenly and intently and learning a lot.
See, now you got your
Yeah.
answer. So what does CPR do? CPR makes you lively and want to ask. Of course, we've had patients whose husbands come back and say, thank you. We're having sex after 5 years. Yes, it happens, Ria. You don't believe it.
No, because my husband hasn't come to you.
Okay. So, next remedy. So, we did which remedy? Banisi, toothache, kick. And we have Carica papaya folia, which is for platelet low and in cancer treatment. Carica papaya, which is indigestion with all the other things. And our 4th remedy, the mania, aphrodisiac. So in this also there's great sensitivity, but to criticism. This is the Achilles heel of column 5. Damania is the Achilles heel. You know what is Achilles heel, the story. The weak spot. If you can find the weak spot in any person, in homeopathy we say the core. But if we can find that, then we know the remedy. Okay. Sensitive to reprimands, ailments from punishment, discouraged and easily emasculated. What does emasculated mean? It means as if you're not a male anymore, right? Impotent. Physically, it expresses itself as impotency and weakness of the male sexual organ. The flower is so beautiful, you won't think it is emasculated, right? So weakness after masturbation, prostate problems, incontinence in the elderly because of stiffening and lack of flexibility, which is the anal skin, and premature ejaculation. So for Damania, premature senility, coition aversion to, leukorrhea, menses late, sexual desire diminished, frigidity, barrenness, stiff. The mind is busy, bustling, thought. So short sleep refreshes. Dementia, disturbance aversion. Yeah, she doesn't like to be disturbed. Dullness, sluggish, difficulty of thinking and comprehending. Whenever you're thinking too much, you have too much happening in that mind, then it becomes very difficult. One patient today morning told us, Oh, I get up, then I think and I plan. Then what happens? Oh, it takes me half an hour, then I go back to sleep. But what do you plan? Of the day, cooking. What is they every day doing the same thing? What is the plan so much? But they are so anxious, they plan every day. So stress of work causes lot of turmoil. Failure causes lot of turmoil. And then self-reproach and self-criticism. Lot of lasciviousness to begin with, and then it becomes dull. Dull, sluggish, difficulty thinking, comprehending become difficult, masturbation often, frustration of mind, brain fat, sexual organs. Lot of damania can be used. One patient was asked, in fact, I'm going to give him, I'm trying to get the damania. I think I've got it today. He had lot of problems with erection and holding and all that. And actually, there is a lot of masculine, feminine. He is the feminine, wife is the masculine. And she was very dominating, very aggressive. So he was very suppressed. And I think from all that, it had become all this. Of course, they've separated now, but he has 2 daughters to look after. So this criticism of the wife constantly, you're not earning enough. And with the COVID and all that, he really had difficulty. So I'm thinking damania is the right remedies.
I think the man should go balls.
Incontinence, his age 63, dribbling day and night, and he got in water 4 times a day, became better. Okay, our last remedy for the day, Geranium maculatum. It's wild geranium, spotted geranium, family Geraniaceae. A small, delicate plant growing wild in the United States. Remedy is made from the ground up root. The leaves have contracting and relaxing properties according to herbal medicine. The feminine quality weakens and fluids vacate the body. Vacate the body. Have you ever heard such a phrase? Uterine bleeding is vacating the body. Normally, menses not supposed, all natural are not supposed to weaken. So when you have weakening from menses, it's definitely pathology. Passive bleeding, weak but persistent. Bleeding from all kinds of mucous membranes, from lungs, kidneys, and uterus. Excessive menstruation, bleeding from the digestive tract. The uterus, they say, is flimsy. Bleeding with dysentery, with urine. Chronic frequent diarrhea with mucus secretion, intolerance of milk, colon cancer, severe constipation. That is what caused the cancer. Excessive secretion from mucous membrane with a foul odor. Constant mucus in the throat, which has to be spat out. So additionally, you have eye symptoms like visual disturbances, diplopia, dropsy, difficulty opening the eyes, and bleeding of the retina. So you have geranium, which is bleeding from all the membranes. So there is an issue with retaining fluids. One of the themes of the third row is over-retention and attachment or letting go. Inability to understand when to hold on, when to release, because it is the anal stage. So thank you. We've done how many remedies? Danny C. We first did the general. Luckily, the general were not very long. We did the generals of the group. Then we did Danny C. Then we did Carica papaya folia. We did Carica papaya. We did Damania. We did cherry.
One question, ma'am. One
Yeah.
question. Why do you call it the Achilles heel of column 5?
Because it is the weak spot. That is the weak spot. It has got heel pain. So they are calling it Achilles. So
Okay.
that's the phrase, nothing to do with
Okay. Because otherwise geranium would qualify
yeah.
for that kind of passive hemorrhage.
But
Thank you.
But I think this is a wonderful, different group. I mean, we may or may not, hopefully we'll get patients like that who cannot deal with the world and who go into all these things and who talk about the other world, either the gods or the devils, and somebody's taking me. We can think of these remedies. Earlier in the earlier days, we wouldn't know what to do with these patients, right? Yeah. Any more questions?
Dr. Vishpala ji,
Yes, Ji.
is it Damania or Damiana?
Damania.
Damania?
रोमानिया
जैसे लग रहा है.
क्या हुआ?
No, actually, I feel it is Damiana.
Okay, let me check. Hold on. I always trust your knowledge for these.
No. I don't trust myself. Why should you trust?
Okay, 1 minute. Hold on. I will look up in my God book. Let's see.
It is Damiana, Chumera. Just I either डाल देना.
Damiana, yeah, correct. You're right. Damina, Damania.
Yeah.
Damania is actually a surname. Huh? That's how I had my father had a friend from childhood. His name was Damania. So maybe that's stuck in my head. So I made it wrong. It is Damia. Acha, tell me while you're here and talking to me. So this patient of mine was asking me that you get in allopathy, somebody has made a roll-on for, this inability to erection. So can't you have a medicine? I was thinking of Damiana. Maybe why can't we not roll on, but at least we can give that in mother tincture form.
Yeah. Damiana is abused, not being used. Damiana, Agnes Casters, Mura. There are so many drugs which are abused extensively for this type of being either aphrodisiac or for erectile dysfunction or for early ejaculation, whatever might be their complaint in that way. They would be useful, but not to the greater extent. But when once you compare with some constitutional remedy, if at all we get it, then there is nothing like. It
So
would
yes,
help.
we can use it for impotence and for
Absolutely. And in this context, I would like to tell you, Dr. Vishpala, actually the other day I was in Panchkula for IHP conference. My topic was, in fact, post-COVID impotence.
Oh, and what are the cases you cited?
Yeah, I have presented 3 cases and 6 cases statistics. And to all of them, I have started with influenzinum because there was a history of COVID. And they have showed tremendous improvement.
So have you used Damiana?
No, I have used in many other cases, but here this being post-COVID, I have not used Damiana.
That we understand.
Yeah. I have used Damiana. I have used Mura. Mura is also a beautiful mother tincture.
Yeah.
And I asked them, in fact, my prescription is like 20 drops at 8 p.m. So psychologically, he will have an idea, "Arey yaar, ye kaam karega." Because mostly it is psychological.
Okay.
So let us not give it 3 times a day. Let us give it at the time when it is needed. Then it would work better.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Some doctors also call it, Dr. Praveen, as the homeopathic Viagra.
Viagra, yeah.
Yes.
Without killing the patient.
Correct. So at least we are going away with one remedy we can use immediately. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, take this.
Only, hi ma'am.
Hi, Ma.
Hi. Only thing is that this is a new remedies and new chapter and all. After listening to this, I think for myself need to revise many times.
Yeah. We all are revising many times. That's why I take revision when they need.
Yeah, that's so nice of you. It's not easy. Anyway, but thank you so much.
Riya,
Can
say hello.
you redo those first 2 slides of revision? That was very, very good.
Yeah. So next time I'll do all this also and add all the revision, because we'll have to do a
the
little
first remedy in the
Vanishing.
No, that is okay. The under malphizial is the
Huh.
first one. Acaracea. Is it Chalmugra?
In
First family ka
one
under
minute.
malphizials only in the chart.
Yes, Dr. Rama, it is Chalmugra.
Chalmugra, which is very, I think, mother tincture form that was used earlier
For
for
leprosy.
the skin. Yeah.
Yeah, leprosy very highly used.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. My
Which
teacher has
remedy?
used it. My teacher has used it for one leprosy patient. But
Which
unfortunately, that
remedy?
lady went away.
First one, madam. First one. First
Oh.
family.
Huh.
Acraceae. Achariaceae. First one. Under malphizialis only.
Where
In
you
the-
said no, H is silent and W, that one.
CHAUL, that one.
Haji.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the one.
Chalmugra. Yeah, exactly.
Boric has it.
Boric has it. Yeah, exactly.
So that
Because-
is good for what, Rama?
For
Skin.
and for external also it can be used.
Okay. For what?
Skin leprous conditions and all, no, where the skin gets
Oh,
destroyed
okay.
or ulcerative forms are there.
Yeah. Maybe you can unmute yourself
Because-
and discuss.
Yeah.
Stop. Maybe video show yourself.
Yeah, I'm not in this thing. That's why I didn't on the video. Some others are also there. That's why I
You should
didn't-
follow my principle to be always well dressed. Always from morning.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody can catch me unawares.
Okay. No, actually, I am okay, but some others are also there in the thing. Like that's why I am not. Yeah.
So Fatima, you made some lovely cartoon that was very nice and effective. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Anything, Dr. Ashok? Anything today? You're quiet. Anybody else? Anything to add? Today we could get Dr. Praveen. We should thank him for our correction of that. Plus we learned to use at least that remedy we used and the Carica papaya folia for platelet count. These two remedies we come out. So every time if we come out at least with one or two remedies which we can use immediately, we are happy that, we spent this time with us, right?
Yeah, those who are in the local Mumbai doctors, most of the these medicines we are getting from Roy pharmacy at Metro, near Metro.
Yeah. In Princess Street. Yes, most of them
Yes.
they have there. Everybody.
Even I'll take from Roy Pharmacy, and most of the lac remedies are also available, no, Dr. Vibha?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Rama.
Yeah.
Because see, after listening to ma'am, we want to practice the medication. Then we don't have. Then we have to find out where. So I make it easy for all of you that we get from Roy most of the medicine.
Can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
also
So I
share
know.
the telephone number and do they post it to us?
Sure, they'll put it in the group. Dr. Vibha, can you put it in the group?
Yes.
But Roy, the problem is with Roy, they don't even courier. You have to send somebody.
Oh,
No, they are couriering. Yeah, because it
Oh.
Yes, yeah. Even if it is 3-4 remedies, also they are doing it. Lately, they are doing it. Earlier, I don't know, but
Yeah, earlier they never did it. So this
No,
time.
earlier also they used to deliver if it is more than some 1,000 or something like that. Because we used to get to that charitable dispensary. So we used to order, but off late, even 4-5 remedies also he's giving like.
Very good.
Yeah.
We had to always, now we found a way, okay, it's very close to Marine Line Station, so we can send a fellow and get it. Yeah. So thank you all. Anything else anybody wants to share? Any of the new people, do you want some particular revision, anybody?
I think ma'am, next week, the coming Thursday, like this 4 medications, one liner if you can give us.
Yeah, of course I'll give you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay then, thank you so much. Please use the remedies and share your usage of the remedies, yeah? Rama, will you, both the Ramas, can you all give some cases next time of any of the remedies we've done, it'll be nice. Yeah.
Too early, ma'am. I have tried.
True,
but
yeah.
Too early to
Yeah.
assess.
Okay. Okay.
I have given coca in 3 cases, 3 different kinds of cases, but too early to assess.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.